Okay, my friends, it just keeps getting more and more curious. As you know, if you've been following me, dipole electron flood theory is my model of what matter is made out of, and it's made out of tiny, tiny little particles, and everything there is made out of only two particles. They are what's called dipoles. There's a white particle and a black particle. They're always glued together. That's all that exists, everything. My fingernails are made out of that, my eyeballs, same as you. Every single bit of you is made of that, and every single thing there is made of that. That is matter. Well, I've been studying all the ancient texts. And who talks about this kind of stuff in the ancient texts? Well, Jesus did. I'm not kidding. I'm going to show you what Jesus actually did say. And all protons, which make up everything there is, and protons and neutrons, they say, well, all really they are is a black ball and a white ball in masses. Okay, light starts with the tiniest little mass, which is this right here. That's what light is a photon. Half of a photon is really what we always consider an electron. They call it a gluon. And then these two can separate. And when they do, these are the tiniest particles that exist. And every single thing is made of those two particles. Light is, air is, life is, biology, geology, chemistry, everything. 100%. Everything there is made of that. And that is what we are made of. We are children of that light, because that is light, and I'll show you it as light. All right, these are the two tiniest particles they can find, and they two together consist of an electron. Back to back, two of these makes light, which is a photon. We are constructed of these two particles, as is everything. All right, everything you read about in these ancient texts, we come from the light. We want to return to the light. Everything is about the light. He's brilliant in the light. This is what light is. There's a dark side and a white side to light. This is actually from a red pulse laser. It's just light. It's nothing more than light. This is a photon. And they have a black side and a white side. And they can split, and we did split them, to make the black go on its own, called sterile muon, and the white go on its own, called an electron shower. Now, this is what Jesus Christ was talking about. We come from the light, and we will return to the light. And the more I read, the more it comes out. It's just staggeringly stunning what was written and has been dismissed. Okay, so just as Jesus claimed, we are light, and everything comes from light, and that's all there is light. And light turns into particles called atoms. This is what light is right here. That right there is a light particle. It's a magnet. It's basically a magnet, a ball magnet. It has a black and a white side, and that's it right there. Now, two of these back to back make a photon. One of them is what we would always consider an electron. But this can be split. Nobody's ever known about this. They still don't know about it. They won't pay attention to it. That's why they don't know about it, because they want to use gigantic, huge particles that consist of a whole batch of these particles, instead of looking for the tiniest ones, which we did, and we saw them. And these are the ones that Jesus Christ is talking about. These are the particles that make everything that exists, and we come from them. We are from the light, which is these two particles. And Jesus said, where did you come from? Tell them we came from the light. We came from the light. Where the light came into accord, established itself and manifested itself through their image. The light did. If they say to you, we are... Okay, my friends, it really is all starting to add up. Jesus has said, we are the children of the light. We are the children of the light. Where did you come from? We came from the light. Everything comes from the light. We are its children. We are its children. These particles of light, these little tiny particles, make up everything there is. And it just depends on how they're organized. And here they're organized as a photon. That bounces back at you. If you put these in a big pile like this, it would become an atom. And if you put bazillions of atoms together, it would become whatever it was. It becomes a person. It becomes a bird. It becomes a water. It becomes light. It becomes air. There is nothing that exists that is not made of these two particles. And attached together, they form a dipole. Two dipoles back to back make a photon. And then the next stable particle from a photon is hydrogen atom. And then they go up from there. And all of this is constructed from life. This is not just accidental bumping into particles. This is all by a designer using these two particles to design everything that exists. Now, as you know, I got into this whole thing by finding mud fossils. And Jesus said, whoever has come to understand the world has found only a corpse. That's all there is. The earth is a corpse. And the same thing, number 80, says the same thing again, but in different words. He says, Jesus said, he who has recognized the world has found the body. And the earth is completely constructed of bodies, basically. As far as I can determine, there is nothing but life that exists on earth and in space and other planets, and everything that they said in the ancient text of mythology appears to be quite accurate, as is Jupiter, is Zeus, who is the god of this realm then, I don't know about now, and he also had given birth to Venus, who impacted Earth's atmosphere and caused a great flood and then destroyed Mars. Jupiter did that on purpose. That was sent to destroy the things that Jupiter created, not knowing what it was going to create. Jupiter was the god, the sex god, and he had sex with all human women, and they turned into monsters. Giants and monsters. He had to destroy them. He had to send Venus out of his own body, which was Jupiter, out of the vagina of Jupiter, and it is literally a vagina. And Venus was spit out and whacked Earth, and it's just the same size as Earth. And it hit our atmosphere. It didn't hit Earth completely, but it did hit Mars and just ripped right through Mars. And this is what was caused the Great Flood and create all my mud fossils. They called it the Triassic era. It wasn't the Triassic, it was the impact era when Venus almost hit Earth. And there's something extremely interesting somebody sent me this morning. I'm going to show you what it says. I get so many things that blow my mind daily, you just can't even imagine. All right, I'm going to sort of wrap it up here for today, but this is a very, very long saga. Now, my friend Harold Peterson sent me a thing saying, look up Acts 19:35 in the Bible, which I don't read much of the Bible. People send me these things, and I look them up. King James talks about a town clerk had appeased the people. He said, ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of Ephesians is a worshipper of the great goddess Diana, who was was Venus, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter. This is in the Bible. This is in King James Bible. All right, and the people got crazy for 2 hours. They were screaming about this Jewish guy coming in and changing the way they wanted to think, saying he's coming here to destroy the way we think and to turn us away from our old ways and so forth, which you make your own decision about that. But this is the thing that tripped me off, was here it is in the King James Bible. They're talking about this area, this region, was their god was Diana, who was the daughter of Zeus, who was this Artemis, I believe was also called Artemis, that had fallen from the sky. And here's in the New King James Version, they say it was Zeus. The same thing. Jupiter and Zeus are the same thing. So they say the same thing. You all know that the guardian of our town is the great goddess Diana. Don't worry about this guy, he's crazy. And it was the image that fell down from Zeus to protect us or whatever. And it just goes on. They all have the same story about this guy saying the thing that fell down from Venus. Great is the Artemis of Ephesus. And they go on about this, but they realize he was a Jew talking to them. They shouted out, "You're wrong, you're a crazy guy," for 2 hours. Great is Artemis of Ephesus. And finally the clerk quieted them down and said, "You all know that our God is Diana. Just let the guy talk, who cares about him?" Here it is right here. This Jewish guy went in there to speak to all these people and about his God. And they say they all started to shout in unison for 2 hours when they realized he was a Jew. And they screaming, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians," which is their god, which is Diana, apparently. Now, so that's 1934. 1935 says that when the city clerk quieted the crowd down after 2 hours, and he said, "Men of Ephesus, what man is there who does not know that the city of Ephesus is the temple guardian of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Zeus," which is Venus was the thing that came out of Zeus. And even the New Standard Bible says, this time Zeus, one of them says Jupiter. Well, here's the King James. This is the New King James, says Zeus. The old King James says Jupiter. Same thing. It fell down. Now, so then you go up to 1936. The guys finally quieted them all down. After they realized he was a Jew, they started screaming, "Get him out of here, the guy's a nutcase." And finally he quieted them down, and then he said, "We all know our God is Diana. Don't worry about this guy." Acts 19:36 says, "Since these things are undeniable, you ought to be calm and not do anything rash." They want to kill the guy, apparently, for the Jewish guy, for saying these things against their God, who was the image that fell down from Zeus, which is Diana, who was also Venus. That's my opinion. Now, I could be wrong about some of these little details, I don't know. But I do know that Zeus and Jupiter, who was the same guy, Zeus and Jupiter, is a planet, and he is also a god, and he gave birth to Venus to wreak havoc on Earth and destroy all the monsters that he created. He's the one that created them. He wanted to wipe them out because he realized he screwed up. And he sent Venus to take care of this, and she did. And she also went around and wiped out Mars at the same time.